One of my favorite books that I read as a teenager, and not for school. I don't think I ever once read a book for school, despite probably being required to. But shortly after school, or whenever I dropped out, probably like 17, I read Fahrenheit 451 because, I was into philosophy and existentialism and dystopias and you know all the shit a teenager who thinks way too much was into. I see Fahrenheit 451 brought up a lot, but usually it's from people who miss the point. And people have very shallow understanding of the book. And it's not that society just burned all the books, they just took away all the books and burned them. In the novel, there is a very long road that led to that. Slowly, books were shortened and then taken away. People, instead of taking in news, they took in summaries. Instead of watching plays, they got brief synopsis of it, to the point where they traded away their ability to think for being entertained. And as their ability to think diminished, their ability to have values diminished. Like the people of that novel literally couldn't think, so they didn't care about anything. They didn't care if their spouse died at war. They didn't care about themselves. They literally couldn't handle their emotions because they had an inability to think, to the point where the main character's wife, first of all, the main character couldn't answer the question whether he was happy or not. He was deeply unhappy and didn't know it. And his wife, thinking her and her husband were happy, literally tries to commit suicide, like in the very beginning of the book, because as entertained and self-absorbed and caught up in her life and thinking she's happy, she was so emotionally unstable and unhappy without realizing that she wanted to die, but couldn't understand that. And the people who responded to help her and save her life talk about how it happened all the time. And throughout the book, you see people being violent, and the government says it wants peace, but it really doesn't care if people are violent.